All right, and welcome to Half Hour Henshin, episode 53, where for 30 minutes I will be in depth covering the Kamen Rider Gotchard cinematic opening and nothing else. Is
Oh
what I
my
would like to
god.
say, but then the episodes for the other two shows ended up being really good too. So it's just. Man, I do really like that opening NV. But as always, I am one of your hosts, Sleepy Witch, joined by my other half.
DJ Azure, the 2.5D hero talking to her.
Yep, and we got new openings for two of our shows. Actually, we got edit to the opening for King Oger as well.
Yup. And after that, what is it for Gotcha? It's pretty great too because we actually have on a previously on because we did have that before, but this is like the more traditional we have like the border of all the chemi cards and stuff like that too.
Yep. Yeah. No, I mean let's start with the opening. First of all, the opening's really cute. I'm a big fan of like. It took me a while when I was younger to realize the reason that like the X isn't pronounced in a lot of like Japanese titles is because X doesn't exist in the Japanese alphabet, and so they use it almost like as a placeholder or just like a symbol kind of thing.
Yes. Oh man. But yeah,
And so, mhm.
I love this chart that I saw like back in the day where someone was like saying, putting like Hunter x Hunter on it, putting like Project Cross Zone on it, or like, basically just like the ways that Japan uses the X in their stuff, like,
Oh yeah, or like or
silent
the fact that it
X,
like
yeah.
it stands for like the different key for Keyblade and the for the old like Master Keyblade thing for Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah,
They use
it's
the X
great.
for a lot of different ways, but I really like it for this because it's also like it's like a pun because it's
Mm-hmm.
chemi story, but it's also chemistry because it's
Yes.
alchemy, but it's also like the chemistry between the two main leads.
Mm-hmm.
It's it's so cute. First of all, the envy is just cool. It's showing you. I like going. I like having the traditional kind of reminds me of the build opening where they give you like a little bit of the setup right before they start like the song where they're like, these are the chemis and this is kind of how this works. Um,
Mm-hmm.
the bike for this season is really cool. I like the big ass
Yeah.
gold bike.
Okay, if we're gonna talk about the bike, there was a post going around on Twitter. If you get into Toku, you have to appreciate both ends of the budget.
Hmm.
Because in this episode, we have the bike, we have a Gold Dash, and then we have the skateboard Kemi, who's just two pieces of cardboard in the shape of eyes on a skateboard.
Hey, he's doing his best. Okay.
No. Like I said, if you're into Toku, you have to appreciate both sides of the budget.
I know. And I don't here's the thing. I don't like some of the people who are like, "Oh my god, this is going to be like a budget saving season, the CG looks bad." And I'm like, I'm going to be honest, good CG is not really what I keep the Kamen Rider for.
Mm-hmm.
And like, first of all, just leaning into the cheesy CG I think is kind of part of the charm. So,
It is. Yeah,
that's my
which
personal opinion on that.
yeah, which also gets into like a major thing on Twitter about a certain series in America, but we're not going to talk about it
Oh
here.
my god, yeah, that's a conversation that
uh,
I could go on for more than half an hour.
oh, I know.
That
Uh,
that's an extra episode kind of
actually,
conversation.
I think the Goddard tweet was in response to that to
Was
that
it?
entire.
I have no idea.
It feels like it,
But
but
anyway,
yeah.
Envy's really cute. We get to see a bunch of really cute stuff like in the alchemy school. I like the vibe that it's like it's almost like pairs of students because it's like Hotaro and
Renee.
Renee. I was just gonna call her Rin, but I'm like that's wrong. And Renee, but it's also the two other alchemy students who are obviously paired together, and then
Yeah.
like there's also Mr. Edgy Boy, who gets
Oh,
kind of paired.
I just realized something with the teacher, like the way that his shine like from his ring happens, like it splits the screen in two.
Yeah, because it's supposed to be like you get it's kind of like the alchemy school and then like the regular school kind of behind them. I love seeing
Mm-hmm.
Hotaru just kind of being almost like a little class clown. You see all the boys and the fucking in the closets messing with him and everything. It's like the lads.
Mm-hmm.
I do love the little like thing with the chemi cards, and you see Hotaru transform, and you see Rin change into their thing, and this looks like the part of like the opening that would be like the part that would change as we go through the series. Which again,
Mm-hmm.
I'm just like, give Rin a rider suit, please.
Yes, I'm
Please.
actually wondering. I'm also wondering. This like this whole scratchy head face thing that that Gotchard is fighting. I'm wondering about that too.
Yep. So that'll be a whole thing. I really love the little scene when like the Kemis are coming like behind Hotaru's mom and both of them hide him. They have kind of like this playful thing with her mom. It looks very cute. Um And then Edgy
Yeah,
Boy shows up to just kind of fight in the opening. We haven't seen too much about him. But I mean, his
yeah.
mechanized suit looks cool. The sword to transform looks cool, like the Junker sword. The
Yeah.
only thing that I find very funny, I'll skip to when we see it kind of in this episode, is the fact that like he's got like the leather jacket that has the Alchemy School logo like embroidered or whatever on the back, which is so
Mhm.
funny for like an edgy boy because that's the equivalent of like like you're wearing your emo leather boy jacket, but it's also just like your school's jacket. you know, this is this
Yeah.
is like a high school let's say my high school mascot was like the Cougar. This is like a guy who's got like Katie Cougars or whatever on the back,
Oh my god.
which is just that was just something that I thought was really funny.
Yeah, but oh man, yeah, like like it's really cool too because like what's it called? Valverad like isn't even a common rider. It's just an exosuit.
Yep.
Like it's so cool to think about, and like the fact that it looks really patchwork, like is also really sick. And we're not gonna see him like fully until next episode because they told us that, but a lot of people are really excited for him.
I'm yeah. My one other friend over here who likes Toku's really into the edgy boys. So she's waiting for the Valvorad episode. Um, but
Oh man, I think we just need a bullet point the rest of the episode because we spent so much time on the opening.
that's how I was going to be. I mean, this episode was really cute. Hotaru gets a test to see if he can be an alchemist. Um, Personally, I like that he's kind of won. It seems like he's kind of being set up to fail because he doesn't even have the ring. But the teacher
Yeah.
seems really open to teaching him. We get to see Rine with her dad, and she's already suspecting that he's the one who gave Hotaru the writer powers.
Hmm. Oh man, and then of course we get our favorite skateboard for this episode, and
Yep.
we see that greed is something that we're dealing with this episode.
Yep. But I also really like that it's funny that like it's just I really like Hotaru's friend. I like that he's kind of gonna be um just kind of like our side like regular person character who's kind of like going around and be like, I knew it, monsters are real.
Yeah.
Uh,
Uh,
mhm.
I also really like how what's it called, like alchemy in this series is like a lot of like semi telekinesis and semi actually changing things into another. So yeah, we have a full metal rider.
Yeah. Speaking about alchemy, I like the her explanation. It's like it's the bringing life out of death and making something out of nothing. I saw that was
Mhm.
speaking about Twitter. I saw another tweet that was like the Full Metal Alchemist fans aren't gonna be happy about this.
I know, right?
I
uh
Also, the other thing, we'll see how it gets treated later on the series. The one thing I was kind of like airing about is how nonchalantly it gets treated. That like Hotaro's dad seems to just have like up and left them to travel the world.
Yeah, but at the same time, I mean, it's like it seems that his mom actually is angry about it. So
Yeah, I want to see more context to that because she seemed like kind of chill about it. Like, oh, I can't be that mad at someone following his dream, and I'm like, you sure though? Because I'd be kind of pissed,
yeah.
especially if I'm
Uh,
running the restaurant that you left me to deal with.
hmm.
Um,
And then we have like our monster of the week, and I really like how Renee is using like used a bunch of manhole covers from out of nowhere, which is really funny. But
yeah,
yeah.
that was really cool. I like seeing Renee like take some initiative right now in the fights and stuff. I like how their teacher just showed up with Gold Dash and he was just Hatara's like, I'm just gonna borrow this. He's like, yeah, sure. Like he kind of
Yeah.
like makes no comment about it.
Yeah, it's really fun, and then I think they use the road that's in Toei Studio to actually film him on the bike, and they mix and I mean like even though you could easily tell when it's CG, like the fact that we actually do have some actual filmed bike action like mixed with the CG for like some of the bigger stuff, is actually really cool that we actually have a little bit of bike action.
I
We're
like
probably
that
not gonna
he
get much of it,
I know.
so
I
we're
like
we're
that
gonna
he
enjoy our
uses
5 minutes of this.
the wild forms to like combine with the bike and stuff, using the
Hmm.
hopper to like boost the bike and stuff. I
Yeah.
feel like it's pretty cool that he's actually that's not just like a one-off gimmick, it's something he actually like uses.
Hmm.
But yeah,
Yeah, like it's
general
yeah.
cute episode. The the fight was pretty good. The CG for everything was like, all right. I did like the joke about him using the mantis genie combination or Jin combination and it just
Mhm.
being like a JPEG.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people were like, it was like, oh, okay, we're all racing the budget, but I'm like, but it looked good though.
It looked fine, and to me, that's more of a like they knew they were gonna show us the red suit first, and they don't have that suit ready.
Yeah, no, I mean, like they had to have it ready, but I mean, I don't think every I like I don't think we need to have a suit for everything, especially with how like much more complex this seems to be. Because like at least build like despite us loving it all, like it looked like it did have like modular pieces, but Gotcha looks like it has specific suits for every single thing, for every major form. So
Yeah, and I
we'll see.
think having some of them just be like attacks is fine,
Hmm.
but
Exactly.
it was cute. Gold Dash is a really cool bike. Um, the fact that he manages to pass the trial by asking them to lose weight and gain weight respectively, just asking them. Um,
You know, it's really funny. Like the fact that he's able to talk to the chemis like this and make friends with them. It really reminds me of Gira being friends with all
Yeah,
the
I was gonna
Shizods.
say I was gonna mention that if you didn't, where it's like we have two series where it seems like we have these little otherworldly creatures that are protagonists of the one who seems to like be able to talk to. Um, I also just like the vibe between him and Rene, where they're both like at this point they're like already kind of like buddies, but also it's the fact that he's like, well, I'm gonna do things my own way because anything is possible. She's like, well, I'm gonna do things the correct way, and I'm gonna show you that that's the best way to be an alchemist. Uh,
Yeah, that's
it's a
that. Yeah,
cool dynamic, and I like it for them, and it's cool. I'm excited to see the red suit next episode because Samurai Skateboard is, I think, the one I like the most. But
the one I'm waiting for is the wrestler one.
yeah,
I
it's Ant
cannot wait for
Wrestler.
the wrestler form. Yeah, Ant Wrestler's the one I am waiting for. Yeah.
Here's the thing, we'll see because there's suits that I've seen just like images of and been like, oh, this one's obviously gonna be my favorite. And then I see that stuff in action, I'm like, no, actually, this is my favorite. Uh,
Fair.
so, but gotcha, cool second episode. It was just cute. We're still kind
Yeah,
of
and
setting everything up, and I really like.
exactly.
But the main thing, I really like the dynamic for the characters and being it's supposed to be like a dual lead and like a quote unquote their chemistry is supposed to be the main thing, even with the
Mhm.
title song being about that. I really liked it. I enjoy it.
Yeah, and talking about that title song, like I mean, like it was just so good. It was just so good this episode.
Back
Like
on,
did you hear that?
yeah,
Yeah.
back on doesn't miss with the intro and the insert song at the end. During the
Yes,
fight.
yeah,
Uh,
it's Beverly who sang "Be the One" for Build, which is
That's so
great.
cool. Yeah, Be the One is also
Yeah.
so good. I'm still so insane that they released Be the One and they also released just Be the One in English.
Yeah, it's. I mean, it is it is a little amusing, but
I
yeah,
just
like
like
yeah.
when they do the extra effort to do stuff like that. But
Mhm.
speaking of music,
Yeah.
episode 9, Ultraman Blazer, Planet of Music. Holy shit, was this a cool episode.
Okay, so first off, I'm going to talk about how this episode was laid out. I love how they moved all the commercials to the first half of the episode. Like you basically watch like a minute, all of a sudden commercial, another minute, another commercial. You're like, wait, what's going on? And then the orchestra starts, and you
Oh my god.
realize,
And I really like that about the way they've done the distribution for this, at least with doing the stuff through YouTube, which means that they can be picky about where they put the commercials because they're the ones editing it.
yeah,
That they can do stuff like that. That's stuff that I feel like formatting. Sometimes restrictions breed creativity, but sometimes it's nice to just have that kind of control. I That's one of the
mhm,
things I really like for some shows that have come out in streaming, especially like cartoons, where it's been like, well, instead of being relegated to being exactly 23 minutes, for commercials, some episodes are 15 minutes, some episodes are 30 minutes, and we're just kind of pacing what needs to be appropriate instead of trying to either fill time or like fit stuff in.
yeah. Like, oh man, this episode was just great. Like I'm probably sure you saw everywhere online that this was also a massive homage to the very first Ultra series, Ultra Q.
I am not as online with Toku stuff as you, so no, I did
Okay,
not.
so yeah, like the big ultra fan in my community, while we were watching the episode, he said, oh, okay, so the song, just so you know, the song that they are playing right now like the main song that they're playing is the Ultra Q theme song. And what I also learned too was that apparently Ultra Q was like it was like an anthology series about like monsters, and it was the first Ultra series. Like Ultraman was actually the second series.
Huh.
Yeah, I learned about this from him, and apparently Garamon is actually a very very famous monster in Japan as well too. Like a lot of people love him as a kaiju. Like a lot of people love like he defines a lot of Ultra Q for a lot of people. So
Well,
and after
that's
that,
really
the cicada.
cool. I had
Yeah.
the feeling that Garamon was like a returning kaiju, just since they kind of
Hmm.
already set him up as like the quote unquote robot. I really liked that there was a part when they're fighting where he just gets up off his feet, and it looked like maybe what they did is used reverse footage of him falling backwards and then reverse that to have him like get up.
Yeah, I think they did that. Yeah, it seems really cool. They either did that or they basically just had wires to pull up.
Yep. But
Yeah.
regardless, the suit fight was cool. I really liked his vibe because he really gave me kind of like an OG like Majin Buu, where he's just like a round, squishy guy and he's just bouncing
Mhm.
attacks off of him. Lasers aren't
Yeah.
working. Um,
Yeah. Like yeah, he's actually strong enough to pierce through Earth through Earthy. So like
Earthy
I was
just
like,
got wrecked. Honestly,
yeah. But also another thing about Ultra Q is that the Cicada Men are also from Ultra Q, which is why it was really interesting for them to like show them in black and white because that's how Ultra Q was filmed. It was in black and white back then. So like,
that is a nice homage. I thought it was supposed to be the well, I mean it also was. I liked the vibe for that scene as well because it was kind of like the oh, our world was like dull and gray and then we heard music which like brought color into our lives.
mm, yep,
Because it starts the color starts coming in when they start listening to the music on the
yeah,
record
it was.
player. Uh
Yeah, and like honestly, like the thing about this episode too is like it's one of the reasons why I also love the anime Macross is the fact that it feels so unique that humans have music
yep.
like in some series, and it's like the fact that they fell in love with the music, they didn't want to go through with their invasion because they loved music so much, which is why it's so painful that Emmy had not Emmy crap what was it Emmy no
I think it is heavy because the other one's Henri.
No, it was Henri. Yeah,
Oh,
Henri
Henri.
shot. Yeah, Henri shot the violinist's hand,
Yep.
and it was so painful because he
He
loved
didn't
making
want to do
music.
it. He loved playing music, and I love how he was like, tell the others, well, our invasion failed. Live out your lives, do what you want to. I end here, and the curtain falls on him. That's just such a dramatic scene. We can only
Yeah,
assume he dies from his injuries too. It's so fucking sad.
yeah,
Why did you
and
send me the ticket? If you didn't, it's because you want me to stop you, right?
yeah,
Me
and
cried.
he just keeps playing. Yeah, it's oh my god. Yeah, this episode was so good. It was also very artistic. I mean, like not just for the fact that we basically got a 10-minute orchestra performance. So,
I mean, the
uh,
orchestra performance was good. The kaiju fight was really cool as well.
yeah,
Um, the
and we're
black
learning more
and
about
white.
Blazer himself. I'm excited to learn about Blazer, like
I'm
what he came
excited that he
from.
can take over his body to drink vegetable juice. That's really funny.
Yeah. Oh, also another thing too is actually what's it called? The whole scene apparently in the stars was actually another I didn't ask them what it was from, but there actually was a scene in the previous Ultraman where Ultraman was in the stars
Huh.
and actually had a silhouette in the stars. So the fact that they did the same thing with Blazer for this episode was also another homage.
Yep.
But yeah, like
And then the
this
black
episode
and
was
white
just
ending music for it was also really good. Where we go
yeah.
back to the
Yeah,
orchestra music.
yeah, also bringing back the Ultra Q opening again. And it was like it's like damn, this is a great episode. Like
Nope. And
Planet of
then
Music was so
preview for the
great.
next episode: Kaiju with a kid, and we get to see his family and his kid and what the vibes are going to be. And I'm like, oh no, next episode's going to be sad.
I hope not. I hope it's not gonna be sad. I hope it's dramatic, but not sad.
It looks like he's going to get another medal, so another new attack next episode.
True. Yeah, I'm just enjoying Blazer so far. Like,
Blaze has just been really cool, honestly.
mm, yeah,
Honestly.
I've also been watching like other series. I've also been watching a bunch of the Ultraman Zero stuff like with my community, and we're just I'm enjoying it. Unfortunately, like the first thing we watched was like a crossover movie with like every previous Ultra before 2009, so that was a lot to like take in. It was like an hour long fight action scene, so it got really exhausting too.
That sounds kind of
Yeah.
fun though.
Yeah.
And our last show for the day, King Azure continuing the Space Wars.
Oh my god.
The scene at the beginning where you get to see all of the retainers just kind of jumping around the universe roof is very funny to me.
Yeah, I love it. It basically feels like they're all just kids. They're just playing. It's kind of terrifying, like about it. Like it's like the fact that like say, oh, we're so playful because we could end you guys whenever we want, and the fact that it's like and like the fact that they also say no. The rules are we can't do it directly. We have to make them do it themselves. It's so crazy.
Yep. We get the new edit to the NV with everyone's basically like 2 year later outfits, which is
Mhm.
cool. I mean, the MV has its very similar vibes still, so I really do like that black and white scene with the accents being played off for the colors. But obviously now we see the galactic sense instead of the Bugnaron
Yeah.
for the bad guy position. Um, all of that stuff, very cool.
Yeah.
Then we get to the gist of the episode: body swap. First of all, so far, I also like that all of the generals seem to be designed to be foils to like the guy that they're like after. And so I think it's
Mhm.
really cool that the guy who is kind of like the adversary for Yanma, who is this tech bro Yankee guy, basically like has a techwear mask for a head and is
Yes.
like a techwear ninja.
Yeah, like the Tech Ninja is so funny to me.
No, it's a
Man.
vibe. But it's like the perfect aesthetic like adversary for Yanma. Yeah, seeing everyone swap bodies. First of all, I think all the actors did really great. Uh
Yes.
Everyone was wild this episode, and especially fucking the Himeno actress as fucking Kagura was my favorite.
It was so funny seeing that because like the other thing that's great about it too is that from what I remember in previous body swap episodes they actually do like just dub over the voice of the actor. So this one they all were just doing the voices themselves. So it's like this is great.
Well, yeah,
I
they weren't like changing their voices. They were more like just matching the tones and inflections
Yeah,
to
and
better
it
suit
worked so
things.
well,
No, it
and it
was
was
really
great.
cool. I really, really like the vibes. I love that fucking confirmed Rita is canonically buffer than Yanma.
It's so funny. Like, okay, but like, okay, let's talk about the pairing. So, we will leave the kings, the main kings for last. But so it's actually so one of the things about this episode is that they want to divide them because they said, oh well, I mean, since you have to act like someone else now, you won't understand the other person, and it's like they basically say, oh, but these guys are so selfish. They're gonna do everything for their own kingdom. So like we see like this fight between Himeno and Kaguragi where Kaguragi Kaguragi is basically sending all the doctors to Tofu, and Himeno
Is sending all
as
the
Kaguragi.
food to
Yeah, and
Ishibana.
yeah, and then we basically get the fact that we get Sebastian as a balloon from overeating. It's
Yeah,
like,
yeah. That was a little much. That happened so fast. But yeah, seeing a little cool exchange where, one of them realizes that, oh, the healthcare of Tofu will be better because of Himeno, and Himeno realizes that, and then like, oh, this kind of new vibe for Ishibana where they're not entirely reliant on just medicine to cure everything
yeah.
is also
Oh,
nice.
yeah. What's also great about it too was that they actually did it again, where Toei basically used the fact that they have the Fist of the North Star sounds to like to make the overwork happen.
Yep. I mean, hey, why not?
But yeah, no, like it was really sweet. Like they were like wondering like, wait, why is
They have a
Himeno
cute,
like
sweet one.
helping?
Then we have Yanma and Rita, who have the funniest.
Like Rita doesn't have any like you know like subjects other than the prisoners. So the fact that like the no rules paradise of Unkosova, like it's like just basically like putting your hand like you basically like just doing like a hitting your friend with a fist, assault, jail.
Yep.
It's like
It's that one fucking TikTok where it's like driving too fast, go to jail. Driving too slow, also jail. Uh,
yeah, it's so
she's just
funny.
arresting
And
everybody, and they're just showing up, and then Yanma as Rita's just letting everyone go, and we just see that apparently they've just been making the rounds of being arrested and then being released and being arrested, and then people are just like falling on the floor like, "Ah, that's too long of a distance to be walking."
It's so funny. I love that part of the. I love that part of the episode.
I love
It
that part
was
of the episode. I love that it led to the fact that like Rita and Yama's conclusion when they're fighting the guy is like, "Hey, you're gonna hit each other if you keep shooting," and they're like, "We don't give a fuck. We'll just hit the other guy. Fuck you. We're
yeah,
pissed."
they just literally just they're just so angry at each other. It's so funny.
Yep.
And then we get Jeremy and Gira, and this like what like this got to me like it was so
This is just
sweet.
heartwarming, but I also just like how Jerry and Gira just didn't have any problem.
Yeah, exactly. Because like Garrett was already a kind king. Like he basically was working to be a kind king. And like, despite everyone saying no, you're like, you're gonna look weak as a king. But he's like, no, I don't want to be that type of king.
But
And
also
Jeremy.
him and Jeremy are both like outsiders as far as things is concerned.
Exactly. And the other thing too, but like the best part of the episode though was like, is like, are we gonna be safe from all these bugs? And after that, like, Jeremy as Giro was like prepared to hear like them blame the Bugnarok and say, but no, under Jeremy's leadership, the Bugnarok aren't gonna do this to us. And it's like you just see him
We
look
know it's
so
yeah.
relieved.
We know it's not them. It's so cute, and it's 2 years and we finally gotten to this point, and he looks so happy. And I like seeing Gira as Jeremy also be like, "Yep, this is the future we've been working towards." Uh, and then we get a very cool fight, uh, where they go to like do the finishing touches, but then their retainers get teleported in front of them. So I really like this. I like that to like cancel the attack, they all de-transform.
Yeah.
That was like a cool tech. But
Yeah.
then really specifically, the fact that after they do this, the retainers immediately all attack them.
Yeah. And you're like, what the hell's going on? And the funny thing is that like they don't even hide what happened in the episode preview. We see the leech who's voiced by Miyuki Sawashiro, like just basically saying, I brainwashed them.
Yep.
And I'm just
And
like,
first of all, I really like how we're basically getting like the attacks from the retainers like flowing into each other. Like you still think
mhm,
you're battling the blue one, and then the pink one shows up. Uh, the pink one obviously being a contrast to
Himeno.
Himeno. In the just being the pink girly one, but also the fact that their powers is controlling other people specifically means that Himeno is someone who's selfish, but still gives people autonomy, while this is someone who's literally just taking control over people.
Yeah, oh man, that is a very, very good contrast. Yeah, and also I think that we didn't even see King Ocher himself this episode either, too, from
No,
what I
we're not getting
remember.
big
Yeah.
boy fights. We're getting suit fights right now, and like
Yeah, which is something that's actually like, which actually breaks the formula, which is really, really nice. Like
it's
whenever
nice
they
to
break.
break the formula. They're doing something interesting, which I think they are.
Mhm.
The thing is, if we're going back to the not beating the Gurren Lagann allegations, I'm thinking that we're just not gonna get any King Oger fights until we're in space, maybe. Especially if they're all coming down as normal size, because they still technically didn't even take out the blue guy yet.
Yeah.
So until they actually take someone out, or until they decide to like chase them into space or something, we might just not see King Oger, which would just be interesting.
Yeah. I'm really curious as to how they're gonna do this, because like I feel that the reason and not only that, I think we're probably gonna get this whole thing where it's like not even the galactic insects is the big thing. Like I bet they're gonna break out of that room. Like that's like there's no reason for them to have shown us like how big the universe is outside the room if they're not gonna break that. I have a
We'll
feeling
see.
they're gonna do that.
I'm really curious about that until we have a
Yeah.
little bit more concrete information. I don't want to say, but
Yeah.
yeah, uh, really good episodes this week, and we're making good time. We still have a little bit of time left, so let's talk about the one other piece of Sentai news. Uh, Bakuwa Sentai Boon Boonger.
Oh man, I almost forgot about this happened this week because
Yep,
it happened so early in the week that I'm like,
it
oh,
happened. Yeah,
okay.
because got it. But we have Explosion Sentai, trademarked. So
Yeah.
well, we
Oh
know that
man.
the next. Well, hey, hopefully the next Sentai is gonna blow us away. Um,
Why would you make that? Oh my
Because it's
god! I should have
because it was
expected it.
right there.
I should have expected it. I mean, the other thing too, though, is the fact that like apparently people are saying that it's the 30th anniversary of Dynaman, and that was, like had so many explosions as well too in it. So I want to see
I
if
hope
they're
you
gonna do
think
something
if
about
it's
that.
an explosion heavy season, I want to see practical explosions. Okay,
Please,
fights.
yeah,
The whole series exclusively takes place at the quarry.
yeah. Oh my god, I'm actually curious as to what they're gonna do though, because like I wonder what type of tone they're gonna take with it. Because I mean, like Super Sentai has always been a little bit more, what's it called, like kid friendly, I'd say. But I'm
Sure.
wondering if I wonder if they'll like take like a different tone with it. So we will see. Like
No idea.
we're not.
With
Yeah,
just the name, there's not much to go off of it. Obviously,
yeah,
with something like Boon Boomjer, not only can it lend itself to like a really comedic tone, but it could be something serious because again, explosions is just like it's vague. We'll see.
yeah. Yeah, and after that, it's only the 40th Sentai too, so it's not an anniversary series.
Yep.
But yeah, we'll see. And after that, excuse me, what is it there? Like yeah, we're not really gonna talk about this anyways until about November, because from what I saw, apparently in November is when we see the silhouettes. So I'm excited to see these silhouettes.
Yep. Yep. The silhouettes
Yeah.
will be cool. If I get around to it, I'll try to do the like predicting thing where I try to like make a suit based on the silhouettes and stuff and see what's going on.
Hmm.
But exciting nonetheless. My one prediction that I'll make, months in advance, just my random guess, is the mask is gonna be normal shape, but the black for the glasses is gonna be like spiky explosion shape. That you know what I mean?
Ooh, you mean kind of like
Kind of
Dawn
like
Torbolts ish?
sure, kind of specifically what I was thinking was kind of like the shape for like the little ear things that like Bakugo wears, with the like spiky pointed outwards, something like that.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. I could see that. I could see that. Yeah.
Where it'll be kind of like almost like an explosion is in the face mask for the shades. But anyway,
Mhm.
that's my totally blind guess, just based on the explosion name. We'll come
Yeah.
back in a couple months to see how accurate that feels.
Yeah. Like,
Uh,
I mean, if anything, like my only thing is that if it's gonna be explosions again, they might just make it a straight up callback and just like make it. I don't know. Who knows? We might have more science. We have more. We'll have more science, maybe.
maybe. But with that, as always, thank you guys for listening, and we will see you next week. Later.
Later.
This program is brought to you by.
Our unending love of tokusatsu.
If you enjoyed the show, please be sure to like and subscribe.
And hit the bell for notifications. And if you would like to support us further, consider becoming a patron at our Patreon, Half Hour Henshin.
You can get some exclusive benefits, such as your name in the credits and joining our sticker club. Or, if you want to help with a one-time donation,
You can also find us at Ko-fi at Half Hour Henshin. You can email us with any questions or theories at halfhourhenshin@gmail.com or on Twitter at halfhourhenshin.